This is going to be a partial response to a video done by Ravenwolf, which I will link in the description down below. Now, why I say partial response rather than a complete one is because many of the points he made are points I've addressed in the past, or they're points simply just not worth addressing, I think. A lot of it is filled with bigotry, and I feel that a lot of it is founded upon unsubstantiated claims based on said bigotry. So I don't feel the need to address them. Now, you guys can take a look at the video for yourself, and by all means, you can judge for yourself if I'm missing anything important. But there was one point that I didn't respond to yet, which I think I should address now, which is why I'm vocal against religion. I've pointed out my multiple reasons why I think religion is dangerous, why I speak out against it, but his response is somewhat different, I think. Well, not different in the sense that I haven't seen it before, different in the sense that theists don't often make this claim. He says, well, what doctrine is trying to force itself upon you? And even if it is, why don't you just complain to your congressman or complain to your politician instead of attacking Christians or attacking Muslims? First of all, I can attack whoever I damn please. This is a free country, and I have every right to do so. I hope you know that. I'm not going to say that that's my reason for attacking people, but let's just say that I was overly hateful or overly bitter at Christians. I have every right to say whatever I'm saying right now, because nothing I say constitutes hate speech. But you really have to be either ignorant or willfully ignorant if you do not see the amount of oppression that goes on in this country beyond closed doors. And sometimes it's not even that hidden. Especially in America, I find it's very much out in the open that Christianity tries to impose itself onto others, not even just other atheists, but other non-believers who don't consider themselves atheists, and maybe even believers of other religion. I'm not going to sit here and list all sorts of examples for you because we're going to be here all day, but just one example off the top of my head is that there are still many places, public places, like schools and workplaces, where mandatory prayer meetings are held. And if you skip out on them, you can either be ostracized by your peers, you can get in trouble, or if you're at work, you can definitely get fired. You might then complain and say, well, if you have such a problem with it, go see your congressman or go complain to a lawyer and hope that he gets your case. Well, it's not just isolated incidents, first of all. There have been many reported incidents of such prejudice happening, and it's very common. But secondly, it's not isolated incidents that I'm worried about. It's this whole prejudice against atheists, this biased attitude that we are just these outspoken assholes that want to be rebels for the sake of being rebels. It's this prejudice that I want to fight against. And the main perpetrator of perpetuating this prejudice is religious ideology, especially Christianity, since it's the most prevalent in North America. It's not even a matter of religious extremists compared to moderates. The fact is that moderates still hold a certain amount of prejudice towards non-believers and atheists alike. And that's something that I want to fix. The statistics are there. We are one of the most mistrusted minorities compared to, convicted rapists, for fuck's sake. If that doesn't say anything about public perception of atheists, I don't know what will. Whenever I hear this kind of question, it's often posed in a very, confrontational way, which shows to me that people asking these sort of questions really don't have much empathy when it comes to our problems, when it comes to our rights being taken away. And that just shows me that they're not interested in hearing what I have to say, which to me only further shows how much prejudice there is in this country against atheists. And it's not just atheists that have to go through with this. African Americans had to go through with something similar too. Women had to go through something similar as well. And how many outspoken people did it take to change the mindset of society with regards to these minority groups? How long did it take for us to break out of these gender and racial stereotypes? The only difference is that with atheists, people still hate on them because Well, we were never really accepted in the past. No one really accepted us, not one single religion. So we're essentially out on our own. And you know what I think, Mr. Shepherd, Bruce, Raven Wolf, whatever you want to call yourself? I think that unless you've felt that amount of prejudice, unless you've had your rights taken away for the last few centuries or so, unless you have to battle with daily prejudices from your family and your peers, as I do, then I really don't think you have any right to ask me that question. Thank you and goodbye. May the truth always be heard.